And look, I know it sounds like I'm overcomplicating it, but if you just think about it for a second, you'd see that my reasoning actually makes total sense.
Who are you explaining this to right now?
Myself? I've been explaining it to myself for like 20 minutes.
And did you convince yourself?
I already agreed with me before I started.
Exactly. Today we're talking about why smart people stop explaining and the hidden psychology behind why going quiet is actually one of the most powerful moves a person can make. Chapter 1. The Over-Explaining Trap. Before the quiet comes the noise. A flood of words, trying to build a fortress of logic around a point that should have taken 10 seconds. For a lot of people, this isn't just a quirky habit. It's a defense mechanism they learned over time. It comes from a deep fear of being misunderstood, judged, or rejected. So you over-justify. You give more context than anyone asked for. You explain yourself before anyone has even thought about doubting you.
That's literally me every time my mom asks why my room isn't clean.
Psychologists sometimes call this the fawn response, like a chameleon constantly changing its colors to please someone, hoping to avoid conflict. You're not just sharing information. You're preemptively defending yourself against a prosecutor who isn't even in the room. Here's the painful part. It usually doesn't work. The more you justify a boundary, the more you signal it's negotiable. It's like putting up a wet paint sign and then spending 10 minutes explaining all the reasons why the paint is wet. The more you talk, the more you invite someone to touch it just to find out.
Okay, I feel personally attacked right now.
Good. That means you're paying attention. Because the people who figure this out go through a very specific shift, and it starts with a brutal calculation. Chapter 2. Translation Exhaustion. The first reason smart people go quiet is pure energy math. Thoughtful people tend to see the world in layers, nuance, context, complexity. Translating all of that into simple terms for someone who isn't even trying to receive it is exhausting. Psychologists sometimes call it translation exhaustion. It's the fatigue that comes from constantly simplifying your thinking only to have it ignored or dismissed. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has a giant hole in it. Your energy just keeps pouring out with nothing to show for it.
So you're basically funding their lack of curiosity with your own brain power.
That's exactly what it is. And at some point, the math just stops adding up. Silence isn't giving up. It's deciding to stop spending your most valuable resource, your attention and your mental energy, on someone who isn't investing anything in return. It's redirecting that energy back to your own thoughts, your own work, your own peace. And once you see that, you can't unsee it.
So what's the thing that finally makes people see it?
Usually, the moment they realize the conversation was never actually a conversation. Chapter 3. It's not a debate, it's an agenda. Not all questions are genuine questions. Some are traps, some are weapons. Someone who actually wants to understand you will be satisfied with a clear answer. They might ask for a little more detail, but the goal is to get on the same page. But when someone just wants to win, or control, or feel powerful, nothing you say will ever be enough. For them, your explanation isn't information, it's ammunition. Every reason you give is like handing another arrow to an archer who has their bow aimed right at you.
So the smarter your argument, the more they have to fire back with.
Exactly. Psychologists call this motivated reasoning. When someone's identity is wrapped up in disagreeing with you, facts don't help. They can actually make people dig their heels in deeper. It's like trying to push a car stuck in mud. The harder you push, the deeper the wheels spin. Smart people learn to spot this early. They stop answering the question being asked and start asking a different one. Why is this person asking? Are they curious or are they cross-examining me? Once you see the agenda, the conversation is already over. Staying in it just means you agreed to play a rigged game.
And silence is how you flip the table.
More than that, Silence is how you take the power back entirely.
Chapter 4: The Power of Not Explaining. Here's the shift that changes everything. For a long time, over-explainers believe that the best argument wins, but in some situations, the opposite is true. Over-explaining signals that you need their approval for your decision to feel valid. It turns your boundary from a statement into a request. A simple, unexplained no is a fortress. A 5-point essay explaining that no is a house of cards, just begging to be knocked over.
So the less you say, the stronger your position?
When you stop justifying, you stop asking for permission. You send one clear message. The decision is made and the debate is over. And here's what happens next. Holding that silence creates a vacuum. Think about a game of catch. If you suddenly hold on to the ball instead of throwing it back, the other person is left standing there, hands open, waiting. You'd be surprised what people reveal when they're the ones left filling the silence. In that way, going quiet isn't passive at all. It's one of the most active, deliberate strategies there is.
Okay, but
Doesn't it feel weird to just say nothing? Deeply uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort fades. And what it's replaced by is the final shift, which is the most important one of all.
Chapter 5: Trusting Yourself Over Their Verdict. The deepest reason smart people stop explaining is a shift in where they look for validation. Over-explaining is fundamentally an outward act. It comes from believing your worth depends on whether other people agree with you. You explain to prove you're a good person, that your decisions are sound, that you deserve to be taken seriously. It's a nonstop performance for an audience that may not even be watching.
That's exhausting just to think about.
Stopping the explanation is the ultimate act of self-trust. It's the moment you stop looking for a judge because you've decided to be your own jury. You realize that people committed to misunderstanding you will do it no matter how perfectly you speak. Trying to convince them is like trying to teach a cat to bark. It's not just futile, they're simply not built for it. And the people who genuinely trust you, they rarely needed the long explanation in the first place. By going quiet, you stop spending your breath on the first group and start honoring the trust of the second.
so it's not about giving up on being understood, it's about choosing who you even try with.
Now you're getting it.
I think I've spent a lot of energy explaining myself to people who already decided they weren't going to listen, and I just kept going.
Most people do, for longer than they'd like to admit.
So the smart move was to just stop.
Do you over-explain? Have you reached the point where you just stopped? And what happened when you did? Tell us in the comments, because you'd be surprised how many people are reading those, thinking, that's exactly me.